Ladies and gentlemen, the following is another amazing episode of the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. In one corner, we have the greatest thing on God's green earth. No, we're not talking about money, Mary Jane, or Popeye spinach. He's the trickle dart of Ringside Society and Delaware's greatest American hero. It takes two to make a thing go right. He is Rob Bass, and you are not. And the second corner, we have that ocean crossing, straight up Boston, flight catching, shot glass snatching, always on the go. Catch him if you can. Said his name in Guyana, now they love him in Japan. No cap, the worldwide starboy, Remy Blue. And our special guest tonight is a woman who is making a name for herself in South Florida. That's right, a place that is actually Worldwide Starboy City, because that's right, your boy, the Worldwide Starboy, was there for 7 years. She's actually worked for Fighting Evolution Wrestling and the newly started Magic City Wrestling in good old Miami. And I can tell you, anybody that knows Remy Blue knows whenever he goes to Miami, he leaves with a smile on his face. Everybody, welcome to our show, the one, the only, and very beautiful, Megan Harden.
Hi. Thank you for that intro. I love it.
Megan, hey, no problem. I try a little bit. It's a little bit of Howard Finkel, a little bit of Road Dogg, Jesse James, a little bit of Triple H, and rest is kind of a bit of improv. And as I go further on, I tend to add on a few things and get rid of certain. It's not the best, but I try.
No, it's always good to have things personal.
Yeah, I just got to say though, welcome to the show. We really and truly do appreciate it. We saw that you were liking a lot. We saw that you were liking a lot of our stuff, so we were like, you know something, this woman Megan has actually been showing us a lot of love recently, liking a lot of our pictures. So I was like, and then we saw that you were a ring announcer, and we here at Ringside Society, one thing that is unique about us is we show love to everybody on that side of the spectrum of professional wrestling. It doesn't matter whether you're a wrestler. It doesn't matter if you're a promoter or a referee or a ring announcer. We want to hear from you because you're the people that put on a show for us.
Oh, thank you.
So when we saw that, we were like, something? Hey, no problem. We just have to make this happen. But enough about, us. How are you doing tonight? How's everything in good old South Florida? I know you're enjoying that weather right now.
It's hot, but I'm doing pretty good. I'm holding up. It's hot, and it's been raining, so whenever it rains, it's getting hotter. So yeah, it's hot here.
Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah, I used to live in Fort Lauderdale, actually North Lauderdale to be exact. And trust me, I know how it is.
Yes.
I used to be all over the place. I used to be at a Hard Rock Cafe a lot too. Me and my boy Bobby. Just chilling out, or we go to Las Solas and just bar hop. Or oh man, you make me want to book a ticket to South Florida now, man. Oh geez.
It's like I said, it's gotten better right now. Hollywood is the scene.
Oh really?
Hollywood, yes, Hollywood is the scene right now.
I don't know, man. Cause wait, are you talking about where the Hard Rock is?
No, I'm talking about like Hollywood, where Johnson Street. Because Hollywood is not that far from the beach. Because I stayed in a hotel that the beach was like right behind. But right now, Hollywood is the place to be.
Because I remembered when I used to live there, I used to go. One of my friends, a guy named Adam, he used to actually live in an area. I think it was called Hollandale.
Yes,
Hollandale. And there was a place called the Doghouse Bar and Grill. I think it's still there. Actually, it is still there. Doghouse. It's a casino. Doghouse Casino, and I used to go there to watch the wrestling events. 'Cause I did also have wrestlers there, and I met
Mhm.
Adam there. And the
Yeah.
area that he ended up living in, the area that he didn't he actually lived down the road from that casino, but
Oh wow.
that area wasn't like one of the best areas. It was like
Yeah.
kind of like one of those shady areas that you didn't want to be around, and I didn't really care for. So, um, yeah,
Yeah.
if it's changed up a lot, that's great.
It's changed a lot.
But I just gotta ask.
hmm
So you're in the wrestling business now. You're ring announcing. You're
hmm
actually you're also doing interviews and so on. So I gotta ask. I always ask all my questions, all our guests this question because
hmm
it just everybody has their own beginning of getting into the world of professional wrestling.
hmm
What was the events or the pay-per-view that made you become a fan of professional wrestling?
Oh wow. Wrestling really came into my life as an accident. What happened was I have my aunt and my uncle. They were like, Megan, just come watch wrestling with us for 5 minutes. I was like, okay. I never knew what wrestling was because at that time I just knew boxing because my aunt and my uncle they were huge boxing fans.
Okay.
So next thing you know, I hear glass, a guy with a bald head wearing shorts and Austin 316 shorts, and he did a promo, and I was hooked right then. I was like, that's it. I love it. And then I'm the type of person where if I love something, I'm going to do my research. So then Austin was the one that got me in it. And then I started learning about, Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Triple H. And then I realized, oh, there's WCW. And then I started watching them, because I love their cruiserweight division. I loved it. I really do believe like that match, the mask versus the title with Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero, to me, that's probably the best match WCW has ever had. Those two put on a clinic. And then I found out about ECW. Now, ECW had to keep that a secret. Because if my mother knew I was watching, I would have been done. That would have been done. So, you know how they have local channels? At the time, it was called Sun Florida. So I would literally pull my TV from my bed, put the volume on low. Because if I knew my mom walked in and saw Mr. So do that, game over. I wouldn't know.
Yeah, yeah. ECW is definitely something.
Yeah.
So surprisingly, you're Megan. By any chance, are you West Indian?
No.
Okay. So my mother, I'm Guyanese.
Okay.
So my mother one time she didn't mind that I watched ECW. Surprisingly,
Really?
so one time, and I would never forget this. Rob, I told you this story. By the way, just a heads up, Rob's gonna ask you a bunch of things about ECW because he used to live not too far from
That's
Philadelphia.
fine.
But I remember one time it was a match. It was Taz. Taz came out and he beat up like whatever was left of like the BWO, and he put Nova in a chokehold. And I remembered, but right before that, Nova and the Blue Meanie came out. And you know the Blue Meanie, he was a big guy.
Crop top.
And he had like a crop top and some Daisy Dukes. So my mom was there watching it with me, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, who is that man?" You see this big guy, big chubby guy with blue hair dancing around. She's like, "Oh my gosh, who is this guy?" So the next time, my mom is like telling my aunt, she's like, "You should have seen what he was watching last night. I saw some wrestling, and this big fat guy with no." And she explained like this big fat guy with no bum, and he had on a pair of Daisy Dukes and a short shirt, and he was dancing around the ring, and I was like, I was laughing, and not because of the Blue Meanie, but how she actually described him.
Yes.
I'm like, "Mom, you are too mean." Mom, if you ever see this, I love you. I doubt she will, but she knows about the podcast. But I was like, yeah, that was and surprising. Because I guess she trusted that I wouldn't do anything stupid. I
Yeah,
wasn't gonna go and I mean, we wrestled. We used to play wrestling in school, but
yeah,
not to the point where like, okay, I'm gonna bring out a cheese grater. And,
yeah,
like
yeah.
we had sense. Like we weren't
Yeah,
gonna
we
do
had
that.
sex. Yeah, yeah. I knew that from the beginning. I'm not doing that. I just like to watch it. I do that.
Yeah, but yeah, ECW is definitely a great thing.
Yes.
New Jack, R.I.P.
Yeah.
Um, we actually had his tag team partner on here. Um, so funny thing is, you saw the life and crimes of New Jack, right?
Yes, I did.
So
I
we were
won't
like,
how many times I watched it.
okay, New Jack was part of one of the most infamous tag teams, the Gangsters. But what about the life and crimes of Mustafa Saib? And I contacted him, and we actually had that interview on here. He had a lot to say. Um, it's actually on our blog talk, and it was very interesting that
Mm-hmm.
you know he actually what he had to say and about his journey in professional wrestling.
Yeah.
And after that, I was like, you know what? People need to start giving this man his flowers, man, because he was pretty good at what he did too.
Yes, he did. He was.
And I think Rob asked him if he was smoking pencil shavings or something like that.
Yeah,
And
he said no. He said that was false. He said he was smoking both. He was smoking
Oh,
cigarettes dipped in formaldehyde. That's what set him off. That's what set him off. That's what he said. He said, "No, I wasn't smoking pencil shavings." I was like, "Oh, okay." I guess that's why you were fighting police.
yeah, but he was a very for the lesser known, I guess you could say. Although in Northern California, he's actually a well-known and respected wrestler.
yeah.
But for the lesser known of the two,
Yeah.
he had a pretty good story. And I'm like that. Like I'll always I'm the guy that would interview Lauryn Hill and I'll interview Wyclef Jean. But okay, I want to hear what Pras Michelle has to say.
Mm-hmm.
And
all the secrets.
yeah.
I think so.
So I just had to make that. We just had to make that interview happen.
Mm-hmm.
But back to you now. So you're a fan of who were some of your favorites growing up when you watching wrestling?
Growing up, like I said, Stone Cold Steve Austin. I love Undertaker because he was so different in what he was doing. Shawn Michaels. I'm not gonna lie. I appreciate Triple H's heel run now. But when I was watching it, I didn't like it. But now that I'm older, I get it. So I was like, you know what? That first heel, it wasn't that bad. It was good. I love like with the Hardys and Edge and Christian, and then when the Dudley Boys came in, that just killed it. As far as like WCW, like I said, I was real big on the cruiserweight division. I love Dean Malenko, Chris Jericho, Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, Juventud Guerrera, La Parka. I loved them. That was the thing for me, the cruiserweight division. I really, really, really like that. ECW, I mean, come on. New Jack. But Rob Van Dam, Taz, Sabu. I was so interested in Sabu because at that time I didn't know there was something called death matches. I didn't know that. So, because I was always so intrigued, like, why did he have all these scars? And so when I did my research, I was like, oh, this is why. I would have to say, like, the match he had with Terry Funk, that's my favorite match, but the hardest match for me to watch. That barbed wire match. Because, myself, and he literally took the tape from Bill and was rapping it. It was like, I'm keep going. I'm not stopping. So yeah, I love. Oh God, Rob Van Dam and Jeremy Stevens. They're right. I could watch them wrestle over. Oh my God, them two together, peanut butter and jelly, cheese on hamburger. That's how it was for me. But yeah, those are the people that I love watching.
Yeah, ECW was definitely something crazy.
Yes, it was.
to me, it gave a lot of people new life because it gave Stone Cold life. And that's what Vince saw, was like, okay, we're gonna hire you. Then, R.I.P. You had Brian Pillman, who was another one that got noticed there. And a lot of guys like Rey Mysterio, Dean Malenko, Chris Benoit. I mean, granted, Chris Benoit was already, a lot of people don't remember, but Chris Benoit was in WCW back in '93. And then he went over to WCW for a bit, and then he came back.
Yeah. I remember they put the title on him thinking that he would stay. And he still left.
Yeah.
As a child, when you see that, you're like, wait a minute, he just won the belt. Why is he in the audience? But, as a child, you get it. When you get older, you're like, oh, okay. But I still say to this day, WCW bit off WCW. Because they had a name for it. That was it. But they took their talent, who was like the main cruiserweights. Like, they gutted it. They know the Dean Malenko, Chris Benoit, Chris Jericho, Rey Mysterio, La Parka, Hoover Too Great. They gutted that and they just had a name for it. That was it.
Yeah. WCW was great. It's just sad the way they went down, and it just goes to show that a lot of time that with that, you have to invest in your future. You can't just rely on what's here now. You have to look at people clearly and be like, okay. Because in hindsight, there were a lot of guys that should have been pushed. I mean, Jericho should have been in that main title picture. You had Buff Bagwell. I mean, you trying to tell me you had this guy for like 8 years in your company and you didn't even push him?
Well, Billy, didn't he beat Hulk Hogan?
I don't know if he. I think it was Kidman. I think it was Billy Kidman that did that.
He did, yeah. And they didn't do anything bad.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just a matter of, and that's why you see what really drug them down to me was like you got to learn to tell certain people no. You can't give everybody and try to please everybody by giving them what they want. No, granted, yes, Ted Turner is a billionaire, but still, they shouldn't have actually They should have just learned to tell certain people, no, you're not getting this. No, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's
But, you live, you learn.
Yeah, you live, you learn. Don't get me wrong. When it was that Monday Night Raw, War, they were pushing some, they were doing some products because, they had the NWO, that was the main thing. I think what they went wrong with the NWO, too many people was in it. Too many.
You're definitely right about that.
Too many. I get it that people were like, I want that time. I want that screen time, even if I'm not wrestling, and I get that 1000%. But it should have stayed. I think, me personally, it should have stopped at Ted DiBiase. That's where it should have stopped. Because those three alone would have made a difference. I mean, Hogan, Nash, Hall. Those three alone would have made a difference.
And X-Pac. X-Pac was good for that.
Yeah. Because I think
X-Pac is the kind of guy, is a great wrestler, but I can't really see him doing that much alone. He needs that. He's like a wolf. He needs that pack to bring out the best.
So he works better like an faction.
Yeah.
Alone.
Yeah.
I think, me personally, we didn't get to see his time because they kept putting him in the faction. Because I remember the match he had with Bret Hart on Monday Night Raw. That was phenomenal. So that can show you that he can work alone. And he can work with Bret Hart. He can work alone.
Not saying wrestling wise, but I'm talking character wise. I can't really see him going far unless he has a click. It's just I don't know if you watch New Japan, but I could be wrong about him. Chase Owens, great guy in the Bullet Club. But if you take him out of the Bullet Club, what are we going to see from Chase Owens? I mean, are we going to see the same enthusiasm, or are we going to see a guy that's just dead in the water, And that's just my opinion. Maybe somebody knows something else. But
I get it. I think they jumped the gun, Jay White, because when he came in, I saw the stuff, and people were like, but remember, Jay White was doing work with Ring of Honor and New Japan. He was splitting his time. So I loved when he had that rivalry with we know him now as Damian Priest, but Punishment Martinez. That rivalry was amazing. They put on a clinic with that. But I think the reason why people are having some trouble with the Bullet Club is how you leave the Bullet Club on your back. That's how you leave. You leave it on your back. You don't just come in and say, "Hey, I'm a member." When someone comes in, they get kicked out, and I think that was the issue for a lot of people. Like they didn't leave, the person didn't leave on their back. Nobody left on their back, and I think that was the issue. Because think about it, AJ left on his back. Adam Cole left on. Adam Cole got kicked out when the villain stepped in. Because you remember Kenny Omega did that promo, and he said sometimes you need a villain. That's how Adam Cole out, and that's how they had a match. They had Marty versus Cole. He came to NXT.
Yeah, you're right about you're right about that. You're definitely right. So so back to you now. In terms of professional wrestling, now that you're a fan and you're cheering your favorites and you're booing the bad guys, how did your journey go from fan to now ring announcer, interviewer for well-known South Florida promotions like FEW, and of course newly started, unless they started before I knew them. Magic City Wrestling.
Wrestling, like I said, I've been a fan majority of my life. It was actually my grandfather who mentioned it. We were in the kitchen eating, talking, like we always do, and he was like, he calls me Boogie. That's my nickname. He's like, Boogie, what, you love this so much, why don't you just work there? And I was like, that's a possibility. And he literally went on WWE.com and like saw like where they can do analysis and things like that. What made me jump into it, it really was on a whim. I was following a promotion here called CCW, Coastal Championship Wrestling, and something just told me
I know about that.
Just told me to email them and say, see what happened. I got a response back in 10 minutes. It literally was the response, phone call, interview, first show. Bam, 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 bam. It happened literally within like 3 weeks. 3 weeks time. It started in the middle of January. I announced my first match on February 6th, and I will never forget it. It was Stefan Rivera versus Benny Blanco, and Benny Blanco had Michael El Rey because that was his manager, and that was the first match I ever announced.
Awesome, that's cool. I've been to one CCW show. My friend, I don't know if you ever seen him around, Chris Cartwright. He's actually done camera work for various promotions, and I think he did work for Ronin as well. And he actually he actually took me to a couple of their shows as well too, and it was pretty good. I think it's ran by Pablo Martinez.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. I haven't done anything recently because I've been looking and I haven't done anything recently.
So I gotta ask. So okay, you're working with them now. Your first match that you announced, were there any butterflies, or were you like, you know what, I got this, or was it like a neutral feeling?
The crazy thing is, when I came home, my mom said, when you were in that ring, how did you feel? I said, I felt like I was home. She said, that's your confirmation you're meant to do this. I wasn't nervous. I've had a mic in my hand since I can talk. Honestly, with doing speeches at church or being the MC, missions of ceremony, singing. I've always had a mic in my hand. So that's always been kind of second nature for me. So me being in front of an audience, completely honest with you, the bigger the audience, the less nervous I am. I don't know if that's confidence or craziness, but when I get up there, I don't have nerves. I'm just like, I gotta rock this. Because me being the announcer, how I announce it can hype the wrestler. So when I'm up there, I just feel at home.
Yeah, that sounds good. So you used to work for CCW. Now you work for Magic City and you work for FEW. Is there
Yes.
any difference when you're like working for any of those, like working between those three?
Honestly, no. To be completely honest, I just want to go there and work. Like I tell people, I said, I just want to go there and do my job and work. If I get the camaraderie, that's great. I do try to get to know them a little bit because if I have to interview them, I don't want to go in cold, meaning I don't know nothing. So I at least need to know the surface levels of some of them. As far as the announcing, I'll ask them, because I may know them in one organization, but they may be another name in another organization. So that's very important. It's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that when you are in front, you don't know. But when you're in the back, people just think a ring announcer, you just announce. No, you have to have your head on a swivel because sometimes a match can change. They'll be talking about it and they'll be like, no, change it. We're doing it. And that's happened so many times. But like I said, it's not it's not a difference as long as you stay focused on your goal. Then that's it.
Awesome. Yeah, honestly speaking, and Rob Bass, I know you got some because Rob is about to be he's thinking about being a ring announcer. He does a little bit of security, but he's contemplating, being a ring announcer. So I didn't mean to put you out there, Rob, but he's thinking about it.
Go for it.
Yeah, I got a tryout
told
on Saturday, so I'm going to try. I was like, I'm going to do my thing.
So he told me he wanted to channel his inner Remy. I'm like, I wouldn't recommend it. I'm not a ring announcer. Like I said, I just improv. I just improv my stuff, and it's like if you're not a good drink maker, but you take a bit from this, you take a bit from that, and if it tastes good to you, hey, you go with it. Yeah. So I wouldn't channel me, but I'm sure there's others you could channel. But
I mean, I'll just do me, but I'll just put a little stank on it. I'll put a little stank on it, do me, stank on it.
I don't flavor.
Yeah. But yeah, I gotta commend you because you gotta have a lot of nerves to go out there and especially if it's a certain crowd, like the New York crowd.
I can tell you the 18 and over crowd. Yeah, because there have been a show I've done 18 and over, and there's a show where there's liquor involved. So you kind of gotta, especially if you're a female, kind of gotta like be a little bit more careful. But me personally, I don't care. If you want to throw something at me, I can throw it right back. Remember, I have the mic in my hand. So, like
wait,
I always.
They actually throw stuff at you?
No, not throw stuff. I've had some whistle.
Oh.
I've had some, say, damn, she's fine. Or, I gotta have her. I've heard that. But I ignore it. I ignore it. Sometimes you just gotta gauge the audience. If you ignore it and just keep it pushing, they'll know, okay, leave it alone. Because they're trying to gauge if they're hecklers, they want to see where your nose is going to throw you off.
Yeah. Yeah, those crowds can be crazy. Long as they don't grab you, though. I mean,
no, I'm fine.
But some of these fans, oh geez.
I'm fine. No,
I've seen some fans do some things, and I'm like, let me just move from this person.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm like, I'm not partaking in your nonsense. I'm here to enjoy a show, and I'm also here, representing my brand, Ringside Society. So I don't really have, and I'm not trying to act like I'm better than anybody because that's not what I do. But I just don't want people to say, because when they say wrong place, wrong time.
Yes.
Yeah, this person was catcalling, or this person touched this girl, or this person touched this guy where they shouldn't have. Who was near there? Remy Blue.
Mm-hmm.
What is Remy Blue in charge of or part of?
Mm-hmm.
Ringside Society.
Mm-hmm.
I take my brand very seriously. That
Yes.
brand over there, that sign you see.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not gonna do anything to put a tarnish on my brand. We have a good reputation going, and we're gonna keep it going. So I take that very seriously.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Rob and Kathy, who I wish could have been here, they know how I feel about that. So I just distance myself. I mean, I got love for fans. Don't get me wrong. We have a whole segment called 15 Minutes of Fandom, where which we have another segment coming on after this, and we're gonna actually be talking to a fan.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not gonna condone certain fans' behavior. You know, people that are trying to entertain us.
Yeah.
Like, and I tell them, I'm like, you jumping into the ring or touching wrestlers when you're not supposed to. That's like me coming to your job. How's it if I came to your office and started throwing around paperwork?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or I came to your job site and I started messing with things I'm not supposed to mess with.
Because once that bell ring, I'm in a different zone.
Yeah.
It's work. It's work. And you know, I don't mind taking pictures. I don't. I have no problem with that. If somebody asks to take a picture, I'm fine. I'm just very aware of what they put their hand. That's it. But as far as taking pictures, and some of the fans DM me.
So you are gonna laugh at this. One time I had 2 female wrestlers I was taking a picture with. I'll show you how I was standing since we're on video. I was like this.
Yeah.
My hands were crossed like this, and I was like this. All serious. One of my I'm in the Navy, and one of my shipmates was like, Remy, relax. I was like, I was just like this all the time, just posted. But they had their hands on me. The females had their hands on me.
Yeah.
But I was just like, a little like a little like gangster pose. Yeah. So you actually met. I'm pretty sure you met a couple of our past guests, because we've had Barrington Hughes, Mosi Kamau, Dan Ragu, and Ernest R. Alexander III, and one of my good friends, George Alonso. I don't know if you met him yet. He runs Sweetwater Pro. But
I've heard of Sweetwater. They actually have a show June 12th here.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, George actually runs that show, and I'm very glad for him. He actually got me in the podcast, and he was like my mentor, so I definitely owe him a lot, man.
Oh wow, that's a blessing.
Yeah. So in terms of ring announcing, who would you say was your inspiration for that?
Ooh. Honestly, Mean Gene. I loved how he was so personable, and even though we didn't know these people, but how his style was, how his tone would change, or his body would change with whoever he interviewed. So he was very hyped with Hogan, but when he got with Jake, he had a little fear in his eye, of course, because Jake had the snake. But seriously, I really liked him. I loved Lillian Garcia because we saw her growth from when she first started to now. Those are really the two that I looked up to. Mean Gene as far as the interviews, and Lillian as far as the announcing.
I would never forget a hilarious Mean Gene skit that took place on Nitro. Not many people might not remember it. So Scott Hall had a thing where he say, "I'm gonna have you right down here," right? He did that to Lex. He said, "Lex Luger, when I'm done with you, I'm gonna have you right down here."
Yeah.
So I guess my theory is somebody told him you cannot do that on TV, and so next Nitro, Scott Hall was like, "I'm gonna have you right down here," and X-Pac was like, "Where?" And Scott Hall was like, "You know where." And then Mean Gene was like, "So Scott Hall, why don't you come and say that over here?" And he was like, Scott Hall was like, "Where?" And Mean Gene was like, "Right down here." in the ring.
That was good.
And I'm like, I was like, yo, they probably talked to Scott Hall about that, and that's why that happened.
I got a feeling.
Yeah. So I guess I just got two more questions before I turn it over to Rob. My next question is, in terms of ring announcing, what advice would you give? So I know you just started, but and you're still gaining experience and you're still going along.
Yeah.
But if you could give anybody advice that's getting into it, who would you and in terms of interviewing well, because I know you interview, what advice would you give somebody who's trying to get into that realm, that area of professional wrestling?
Okay, I would say do your research as far as the promotions that are local, because that's where you can start. You can start local. Do your research. Get their website, their Instagram or Facebook, Twitter, all that. Don't be afraid to contact them, because that's what they're afraid to contact you. In this business, you're going to get more no's than yes, but you just gotta keep pushing. Once you get in contact with someone, just let them know your story. Just be like, even if you're just started, just be like, hey, I'm a big fan. This is something I really want to do. I want to grow. I want to learn. And then you could take it from there. That's the best advice I can give you. You got to do your research, see who's local, and then email them. DM. You will be surprised how many local organizations respond to DMs. Heck, I've gotten 2 jobs through a DM. So you'll be surprised. I'm telling you got to do it, and you got to get that fear of rejection. Yes, you're going to hear more no's than yes, but once you get your foot in the door and then you start having video and pictures and then you start having things in your catalog, that'll make it easier. Your social media, honestly, is your business card. It is. So post every day. I would say if you're not posting something about the organization you're working at, post something about wrestling, even if it's a video or if it's funny, because they're going to look at that. And then if they see your IG story, they're going to be like, wow, this person is not on the surface with wrestling. Like, they are really, really deep in wrestling. That helps. When you're very informative of this business, that gives you a foot in the door. So just do your research. Don't be afraid to hear no. Try to get a catalog as far as doing interviews and promos. Even ask wrestlers, because I'm telling you that's a double hand for them. If you do interviews with a wrestler, it's going to help the wrestler and it's going to help you, especially if the wrestler is in character. If they're a heel, that'll really help you, because then the company will see, oh, okay, we can just throw the ball at her and or him and she'll catch, and they'll catch it. So that's the best advice I can give anybody.
Awesome. So for those of y'all trying to get into the interviewer ring announcer part of professional wrestling, you just got some advice from a woman who's doing it. Sometimes you got to pay for this advice, and I don't think she's giving you everything, but you got a little something from somebody who's doing it. So if you want any more, you may have to pay a little something to get. But it's a little thing for y'all to
Yeah.
But my next question before I turn it over to Rob, I know he's chomping at the bit right now, and he's ready to go on a South Florida vacation because he has his Hawaiian shirt on. But
Magnum PI.
Hey!
I'm just missing the mustache. If I could grow one, I would.
If he and I go to Miami, we will be automatically Miami Vice, like Colin Farrell and Jamie Foxx,
I would love to see that.
But, my next question before I turn over to Rob, in regards to professional wrestling, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
My ultimate goal is to be the first ever African American woman to do commentary for any wrestling promotions: WWE, AEW, Ring of Honor, Impact, NWA, and MMA. So Bellator, UFC. I would love to do both. So that's my goal in 5 years.
Honestly, I really and truly hope you get it. I would love to see that, and I love to see somebody work hard and get rewarded.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now we've had Red Velvet, and you probably came across her,
I
and
actually
I
know the trainer, and he he was JB, and he watched it, and you could have seen the glow on his face. He said, "When this happens, I feel like a proud papa." Yeah, I feel like a proud papa. You just saw the glow, and it was humbling, but he was like, I'm just so proud. Like I'm just so proud of where you are, and I'm just blessed that I was able to be a part of this journey. And I love that look. He said, "That's all I want to do." He said, "I just want my kids to go to the next level, so I can just be a proud papa."
yeah, I was very happy for her when I saw her,
Mhm.
especially when she got signed to All Elite. I was like, yes, I'm very happy for her. I don't know how familiar you are with AEW, but we've had her on there. Danny Limelight,
Mhm.
um, who actually got featured on Dark Elevation, not this past Monday, but the Monday before. I
Mhm.
was very happy for him. I
Mhm.
just like seeing people work hard and get rewarded. It's a
Mhm.
very great thing to see.
Well, I've been in
So
contact with Jake Sintek.
okay,
Familiar with him? He
yeah,
actually does training every Monday. And when I tell you he's an amazing teacher, oh my God, patience of a saint. And he's an amazing teacher. He is fun. If when he retires, I really hope he opens a school because he's just not only he's a phenomenal wrestler, but he's a phenomenal teacher. It's like he has all these gems and he just drops it. Like I said, as a wrestler, he is amazing. As a teacher, he's amazing. So whenever I see him, I post him because I'm so happy that I got the opportunity to not only meet him, but he knows who I am. And so and because he told me the last time I saw him, he said, "If nobody else tells you, I appreciate what you do. When you post me and you support me and you tell people to follow me and how much you support the company. So if nobody else tells you, you are good. You are really, really good." And that meant a lot coming from him. Even though cool guy, so cool to talk to him, but it still was like, oh my God, Jake St. Patrick said. It's still like, oh my God, Jake St. Patrick. Yeah.
yeah, I've seen him around. Who knows? Maybe he'll get signed. That'd be an awesome thing.
Oh my God, I'll be a cheerleader on the side. Like whoop whoop. I'll be a cheerleader on the side. Yes.
So I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to Rob. I know Rob has a couple of questions for you.
Mm-hmm.
So Rob, go ahead, man. The floor is yours.
All right, sweet. Thanks, Remy. So, what's going on, Megan? How's everything doing your way?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh, I'm well. Just trying to maintain. Listening to my beagles running up and down the house. You know what I mean? It's like a thundering herd of buffalo. You know what I mean? They finally calmed down. They finally calmed down now. I think they're sleeping. They're out in the living room sleeping or whatever. So I think we're good.
Okay.
So you're saying earlier, you do stuff like, you do like all kinds of announcement stuff. You do stuff for like, church and all that stuff and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, look, I'm not a real religious person or anything. So when you're done and all, whenever you do pray for me because I'm a heathen. You know what I mean? So I always need that extra prayer.
I pray for everybody, so you're
all right,
good.
good. Thank you. I always need that. I always send positive vibes. You know what I mean? I was like, yeah, but I'll take prayers. I ain't going. I won't reject them. I won't reject them.
Hell no to the no, no, no.
That's
pray
right.
like that.
I remember my friend, he lived right next door to a church. And I remember I was over there at a barbecue one time. And they had an outdoor service because it was like summertime. The preacher, after every word, he was like, now, we're going to give praise to the Lord. Every word. And we were just laughing. Yeah. So every time after them, if I'm ever a preacher, I'm doing that. And I was like, yeah, so he did that.
That's fine. That's fine.
I was like, hey, man, because I thought that was awesome. I was like, yeah, there you go. He's like, I was like, there, yep. Put the point in. Yeah, you put the point in. Get the point on.
Mm-hmm.
Now I do want to talk. You're talking about ECW and stuff, man. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like Remy, my mom and parents, they let me watch it and all. They even let me go to shows. Like they would come here to Dell State and Wesley College, here in Delaware. But my mom, she wouldn't let me go to Philly to the ECW arena. She's like,
She wouldn't.
no, because my brother, I had to take him. He was at 10 or 11 at the time, and I was like, 16, 17. And she was like, nah, yeah, when they go to Dover, whatever, 20 minutes away, yeah, you're good, you're good. Yeah. I was like, oh. But then, looking, and I'm like, all right, yeah, thank you, Mom. Because I'm like, man, the stories I've heard that were happening up there, like, woo, man, yeah, I'm not going up there.
Yeah. I wish I would have went to the one that was 2005 when they did when they did it over. I was like, oh wow, because I didn't even know. Like at that time, I wasn't going to shows, and I found out later on they came to Fort Lauderdale.
Oh man!
But that was the night Taz broke his neck. Tommy Dreamer, and then they walked into a hospital and they took an X-ray, and the nurse was like, he broke his neck. There's no way he walked in here with a broken neck, and it happened in Fort Lauderdale.
Oh man, I remember. I got to see Taz wrestle a couple times. The best one was when he fought Tajiri because they just went at it. I remember Tajiri was hitting him with the green mist, and I remember him turned around and Tajiri tried to kick him. He just caught his leg on the head, and then was just throwing him, and then he put him through a table. I was like, yeah. And I remember the same one. Sabu come out there. He had a broken jaw. And he was literally had tape around his head, just like this, to hold his jaw in there.
Quit.
My buddy, he worked at the gas station down the road from there, and he stopped in after, and he said, yeah, he's sitting there holding this like, oh, can I get, I'm like, man, that dude just like went through tables. I just went like 20 minutes ago, whatever. He's going through tables and doing all that. Oh my Lord. Woo. I was like, yeah, I don't know if I could be a wrestler, I don't know if I'm doing that,
Being on behind the scenes, like I said, I always knew it was hard, but when you see it up close and personal, you're like, woo, because I already have respect. I already have respect for doing this because you're putting your body on the line and you're having faith that the person you're working with is not going to hurt you. So when you see the training and what they have to do, yes, it's taxing. You have to gotta respect, most definitely.
Oh yeah. And when you were talking about your favorite ECW matches, I had to put mine down. Mike Awesome versus Masato Tanaka. I don't know if you ever seen that one.
Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
That's brutal. Yeah, that. See,
they did it again at 2005. Did it again.
I'm so mad at WCW. How you gonna take Mike Awesome and make him that 70s dude? Like, come on, man. Oh, and my Ed Lover voice. Come on, son.
Because he did a great debut interrupting Kevin Nash, because Kevin Nash was injured at the time.
Yeah, I think so.
He had a great debut. It sucks what they did with him because he was a big guy that could move like a cruiserweight, and they didn't do much with him. But do you think that was kind of karma because how he left ECW?
I don't know. I did hear that Paul Heyman, owed him a lot of money anyway, and it was like, I mean, it's like for so long, like, look, I can't work for free, getting tore up like this.
Yeah. I think what saved Paul Heyman, his father was a lawyer.
Yeah.
His father was an attorney. And you got to respect Tommy Dreamer because he went down with him.
Yeah.
That was somebody who was probably so unselfish with the business. Because how many times he fought Raven, he wanted to lose. He wanted to because he knew losing would get the sympathy. And it would get more fame. That's what I'm saying. He was so unselfish. Selfish. And he could have been. And he was just, I love Tommy Dreamer. He's amazing. His rivalry with Raven was good too. That was amazing. Oh gosh.
That's right. Yeah. And Sandman too. Yeah. He was always good. Like, yeah, I could see him not being in WWE and all, like, because he just goes out there with the kendo stick. Oh, you did?
I have a video.
What was that like?
He poured the beer down my throat.
Oh man, nice.
He came out, and I was just like, I literally said to like the people that was behind me, I was like, oh my God, that would be so cool if I got the beer. And then he came my way, and then I waved, and then he came, he put it, and I did it, and I was that made my night. My mom and my aunt was like, okay, why is this a big deal? And I had to explain to them, I was like, okay, he enters the crowd, okay?
That's right.
So with the cane and the beer, and he pours it down people's throat. That's been his gimmick for decades. I said, so for that to happen to me, that was a big deal. Now, my friends who knew about it, they were like, "We hate you."
Yeah.
They were like, "We hate you," or
That's right.
"Lady, you're so lucky," or "How did you fit?" It was amazing. My shirt was soaked in beer, and I loved it.
That's right.
I loved it. My mom said, "You smell like beer." I said, "But I had a wonderful night."
Yep.
Wonderful night.
That's right. And you're driving. No matter what, you're driving. I don't care. Not taking no chances.
He's, when I tell you, he's a character and a half. He is, but he's so cool. He's so cool. I got a chance to like talk to him a little bit. He's so cool. So cool.
Did you hear that story about when he wrestled? I think it was Sabu in a ladder match, and maybe a couple other people, where he was like a little intoxicated with that hallucinogenic stuff. You know what I mean? Like in ECW. Oh yeah, he took that. If you watch I can't remember what show it was, but he's laying on the table and you can hear him looking at Sabu going, "Come here, lizard, lizard, lizard." He thought he was wrestling Godzilla. Like that's how bad he was messed up. I was like, oh man.
But think about it. New Jack smoked cocaine before he was jumping off.
Yeah, that's true.
He was smoking cocaine. He said it. He was like,
"Oh, I know."
Okay. Yeah, I remember the 50 most oh my god moments of ECW. It was Spike Dudley, and he was teaming up with New Jack against Dudley Boys, and Spike was like, "When you get up there with New Jack and you change your mind, that's the wrong thing you want to do." So he said, "I had to like, whoo, 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 and just go." Because people have all said, if you go up there with New Jack, you better go. Because if not, you're gonna pay for it.
That's right.
Yeah, because he purposely asked for that match again. And he went to a pawn shop and got a taser. And then he had the nerve to say, "Timber." I said, oh my God. I said, what the heck? Thank God he just had like a broken ankle or something like that. Nothing happened.
Oh, I know.
Whew, thank God. But I had died laughing when he said, "Timber." I said,
yeah. Yeah, I always knew New Jack didn't play. I saw him wrestle a couple times in ECW. First one was with Mustafa, and he duct taped him to a table, climbed up to the top on the rafters, jumped off the rafters onto him. The second time, I can't remember who he fought, but he came out with a shopping cart full of weapons, beat people with a vacuum cleaner. He had that. I can't remember else, but yeah.
Like I used to be like, did he take the Winn-Dixie buggy?
Oh man, I don't think so. Oh man, yeah, man. He come out there a lot of stuff. The music played the whole time. You just hear Dr. Dre and Ice Cube the whole time. You know, getting a beat
especially
down.
with Bam Bam Bigelow. That music played the entire time. Yeah. Like, who brings out a grocery cart with cheese grater, a pizza grater, a trash can, pots and pans? Like who does?
That's right.
New Jack.
That's right.
That's who does it. That's who does it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I even I was watching that. I don't know if you've seen the Nick Gage Dark Side of the Ring. Because I remember people would always ask me like, because I live in Delaware. They're like, "Are you going up there? You know, they have this tournament of death up there." And I'm like, I don't have the stomach to be watching that live. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. When I watched that documentary about him, I was like, oh man, I might have to turn the channel a couple minutes because it's gross.
I'm not gonna lie, because I'm a huge fan of that series, and I follow them. And when they started listing the names, I was like, "Oh, so they coming swinging this season? They not playing." Because especially when they announced that Stone Cold Steve Austin was going to be on Brian Pillman, I did not tell me that was the highest rated show they had.
Oh yeah.
Tell me. And
that's
then
right.
Nick Gage, Dean Ambrose was on it because they've had a rivalry. And I've always been a fan of Nick Cage. I always like the death matches. When I went by myself. I knew I couldn't pay nobody to go with me. I know that. My agent actually just asked me like, "Hey, there are a couple of death matches that need an announcer. Would you go?" I'm like, "Yes." Why wouldn't I go?
There you go.
I think he was thinking because I'm a girl, but I told him, I said, "Look, I have thick skin, alligator thick skin. I will watch this, enjoy this, and go to sleep like nothing happened."
That's right. There you go.
Yeah, but that Nick Gage, it was amazing because that moment went viral when Dean showed up, and people were just like, "Oh my God. It was amazing." I hated that he went down that road where he had
I know. Yeah.
Oh God!
I've seen so many people do it too, the same exact way. You know,
It's
they
sad.
yeah, doing the pills, and then can't get the pills no more, and then
Yeah,
uh
because your body it is in so much pain. It's so funny. I
mhm,
have been out. I had met a wrestler at a club, and how he was stretching his back. I said, "You stretching like a wrestler." It's to the point where I could tell if somebody's a wrestler how they walk.
that's right. That's
That's
right.
how bad it's got. I said, I am in this business too deep.
There you go. There you
I
go.
am in this business
That's
too
right.
deep where I can tell that you're a wrestler or how you're positioning yourself, what hurts.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in this too deep.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in this too deep. But yeah, that documentary, I love that show because they feature people who you're like, oh my God, what really happened? Because I know for me, the Owen Hart one, I really wanted to know why he was never inducted. And they were smart. They did that in the last segment.
Yeah.
Wife and the kids said
Yeah.
no. That's
Yeah.
the reason why.
Mm-hmm.
And they all made a pact.
Yep.
Even if the mom passed away, they're saying no. Because that was the main question, especially
Mm-hmm.
when they released that on her DVD. Why isn't he in the Hall of Fame? And we got
Mm-hmm.
the answer. They
Did you see? Did you see what he was dropping down when they got the angle to look down what he was on? Like, yo, for real?
That's
Woo!
great. That's
Yeah, I'm
great.
afraid of heights too. I'm
I'm
like, oh
afraid.
man, I don't know.
I,
Yeah.
I think I think they said okay because think about it. Shawn Michaels did it 2 years prior.
Yeah, that little the
He had
thing.
no problem. He
Yeah.
had no problem. But they, I just think it's absolutely like shocking that Jr. was told that he passed away, and he had to like he held a pause, and he had to keep doing the show. I
Mm-hmm.
actually looked at the show the next day, recently, because I forgot how Stone Cold tribute was, because I remember what The Rock said. He said Owen Hart, The Rock loved you like no other, because he was in Nation of Domination and they were a tag team together, and I saw Stone Cold's tribute, and it sent chills up my spine because he came out, with the beer, and then he did that. When he saw his picture, you saw he was about to cry, and it was crazy. And then I was like, I want to see the Brian Pillman one, and yeah, because I know Stone Cold was hurt by
Mm-hmm.
that. They were together, and the opening of Dark Side of the Ring, he had mentioned the chain. Brian Pillman was like, if
Mm-hmm.
we can look like, and he still has that chain to this day. He was wearing it a
Mm-hmm.
long time, and I was just like, wow, that's
Mm-hmm.
good. Yeah.
Now, did you see the Shawn Michaels biography? What was it, the other day? A couple days ago?
I saw a little bit of it. I know I watched the full story of Stone Cold Steve Austin. I am really curious about the Warrior because A&E is doing it, but Dark Side of the Ring is doing it too.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna watch both to see
Yeah.
which one. Oh yeah, I would not be surprised if they dropped it the same week.
That's
Because
right.
that airs on Sunday and Dark Side of the Ring airs on Thursday. So I
Yep.
am so curious if they're going to
Mhm.
drop it the same week.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very curious. Very, 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 very
Mhm.
curious.
Yeah, that Shawn Michaels one was good though, man. Marty Jannetty, they got him on there. Oh, look, Shawn Michaels was a golden boy, like nice to his mom. Didn't do anything. He met Marty Jannetty, and then it started a 10-year drug abuse and alcohol abuse thing. Like,
I loved what his father said. He said he didn't want his son to be 35 and 40 and be like, Dad,
yes.
why didn't you want me to wrestle? Like, why didn't you do this
Mhm.
for me? He said he couldn't stomach that. And I was
Mhm.
like, wow.
Yeah,
Like
'cause they're
oh wow. That sent chills up my
yeah.
spine. Wow, you were like, you wanted your son to be happy. And he took to it
Mhm.
like a fish to water. And yeah, I watched the first one they did. Yeah, we all, but Brett even said it. They were like, people love to work with Shawn in the ring. But
Mhm.
outside he was something else. But
Mhm.
you also got to think about it too. He was so sheltered. His father was in the army, and he was so sheltered. And it's kind of like when a strict kid goes to college.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, I have all this freedom. What the heck am I going to do? And I have no parents to tell me what to do. Oh, I'm going for the moon. And that's what it was. And you add on top of it, you have the fame, you have the money, and the access to do what you want to do. So, yeah, they said he was something to work with, but I love the fact when they were showing when he was at NXT and how so involved he was. He's so like this is the future, and I'm worried. I'm looking at this as a marathon, not a sprint. And for them to have, Triple H and Shawn Michaels, and at the time, Dusty played a big part in the beginning. God rest in peace. And then Shawn Michaels is so involved. I see why they don't want to leave. Adam Cole is working with his idol. Because he loved Johnny Gargano. I think if he could adopt him, he would.
That's right.
I think he could, because he had a big part to play in that, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. But when they're, and I've seen it, when you have more trust when it's your best friend, you go a little bit further because they got you. So they tend to go a little further. And but yeah, he had a big part to play in that, and that's what I'm saying. I hope when I go in, I get to meet him and just pick his brain. Like there are some people. Right. I would love to pick Triple H's brain and Shawn Michaels. Most definitely Paul Heyman. I to pick, because when New Jack passed away, I said the one person I want to hear from is Paul Heyman, and he did it on Talking Smack, and it was such an amazing tribute. It was so beautiful. I love what he said. We would love to show footage, but we can't.
Yeah, you can't.
I was like, and I said the same thing. I was like, they can't show no dang footage.
I know.
We gonna show a picture.
Yeah.
That's the tribute I was looking for. When I want to pick Paul Heyman's brain so bad. Oh my gosh, if I get the opportunity to work with them, because it's so funny. My mom asked the other day, she said, Megan, what if you got the opportunity to be on Stone Cold Steve Austin podcast? After I faint and you pick me up off the ground, I'll have one of his beers and then we can sit and talk. Yeah. That would be a dream come true if I ever. I think I think I'll start crying, because I would tell him, like, you're the reason why I got in this business. So thank you so much. I will have to tell him thank you. So I'm hoping and praying that happens. That's
right. Hey, if I hope it does. If I ever did that, I'd be like, yo, pinch me. I don't drink it all. I don't drink it all, but if I got on there and he gave me beer, I'd be like, you know what? I'm cracking it open. I'm down with it. I'm like,
yes.
Like, this is my first one. Whatever. Yeah.
I wouldn't sleep that week. I wouldn't be able to sleep that week. I'd be like, oh my God, Jesus, I'm walking back and forth. Oh God.
That's right. Yeah.
I know. I'll sleep when it's over.
That's right. I know I have to drink that one beer, man. I probably tell him every story in the book, because I'd be drunk, I don't drink that one beer. I'd be like, oh yeah. So this is what happened. Yeah.
Or like Taker, they took a shot.
Yeah, that's right.
Shot. Oh yeah, they took a shot.
I'd be like, yeah, man, my mom was yelling at me one time saying, if I keep backing up, I'm going to be going down the street with 3 shoes, 2 on my feet, and 1 in my ass. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. That's funny.
So I got to ask, what was your craziest, after show interview? Because I know you said sometimes, you get wrestlers that are still in character and all, what's like some crazy ones you've done?
Oh my God. The craziest one would probably have to be Jacko Stevens. Ooh. You know how they have a 24/7 title. He was a champion at that time. And it literally was, he said, come here. And we went outside. And he just told me the 3 things I had to say. So I just went off, and it was a referee that passed by. And I was like, you do know that's a referee, right? She was like, no, she worked at Foot Locker. I said, I just picked up shoes the other day. No, she does not work at Foot Locker. We were going back and forth to the point where he almost broke character. He started laughing. So that week I did that first show. I'm doing my makeup and Michael L. Ray walks in. He's like, you're that girl that did an interview with Jack Stevens. And I said, yeah. He was like, so how long you been doing this? I said, I just started. And he was like, you did that interview and you just started? And I said, yeah. He was like, oh, okay. He was so nice. He was like, I've been doing this. I do commentary. If you need anything, contact me. And he's been so helpful. He really, really has. Like, I go to him for advice for certain things. And that's somebody that you want to pick their brain to, because he's well-rounded. Not only is he like a manager, but he does commentary too. Not only for wrestling, but for MMA and boxing. And he's such a cool guy. His character, he's loud and obnoxious. But as a person, I absolutely love him.
That's right.
I absolutely love him. Cool. So it was one girl that I was helping. I said, the best advice I can give you is, if the show starts at 7:30, leave them alone at 6. Because they're starting to get in the character. especially if they're at Hill. So if I got to ask them questions, I am doing this ahead of time, or if I have their phone number, I'll contact them, or I will DM them and ask for information, because I am very professional when it comes to that. When it's 6 o'clock, they're getting ready. Leave them alone. They're trying to get in the character. They're probably still going over the match. They don't need no distractions. So just leave them alone. Leave them alone. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Now you're saying, just a couple more questions, before I pass it back on to Remy. You're talking about boxing, loving boxing. Yeah. I used to love boxing as a kid. Now, my favorite as a kid, God rest his soul, Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker. He was my favorite. And as a kid, I used to love him. You know what I mean? Like, who was your because my parents they got cable, they had HBO every Saturday night. HBO boxing. I never missed it when I was a kid. I always watched it. And who was your favorite? As a kid growing up and stuff.
Oh yeah, well, boxing, like I said, my mom, she worked on the weekends, so I would stay with my aunt. And she will always ask me, how did you have fun with your aunt? And I was like, yeah. She said, so what did you do? I said, I saw two men in basketball shorts, because I didn't know they were called trunks, because my uncle, he used to have basketball shorts. So that's what I saw. And I said, they had on these big red things and they were doing this. And she said, oh, okay. And then she called my aunt, Beverly, you got my child watching boxing. And that's how I fell in love with it. Whoever my aunt loved, I loved. So I fell in love with Lennox Lewis.
Ooh, okay. Nice.
When I tell you she was a fan, I was with her. So when she was a fan, I was a fan. The thing I couldn't realize was why people didn't like him. He was so good.
I think that because he beat everyone. That's why. They hated him because he beat everyone.
Probably.
Because I remember when
so polite and so nice.
Yeah, because when Hasim Rockman, I remember when he knocked him out with that lucky shot. I remember people were like, yeah. And I was like, they're like, man, he's going to come back and he's going to beat him again. I'm like, Lennox Lewis is mad. He's going to come there and destroy him. Because, imagine if you're just going out there and somebody uses one punch and you're done. Like, what?
Yeah.
Okay, next time. All right, that's right.
I've seen that happen. I forgot what fight it was. But my uncle was pissed. It ended, and he said, SDF. He went on and on, and I was like, okay, note to self. I'm not where I know boxing.
That's right.
No, but I remember it was the rematch with Evander Holyfield and Tyson. And it was my eighth grade. They called it prom, but it was dance. And everybody was going to Boomers afterwards. I told them I'm going home to watch a boxing match.
That's right.
So I didn't go to Boomers.
That's right.
I school on Monday. They were like, Megan, where were you? At home watching the rematch.
That's right.
I'm going to watch this rematch.
That's right.
Yes. And I was still in my I was still in what I was wearing at my aunt's house watching the fight.
Nice.
Yes, that's how much I loved it.
I remember that fight. I'm only a couple years older than you. I was in like 9th or 10th grade, and I remember my friend, his uncle or something got it, and I remember I was calling him up like, "Yo, what's happening? What's happening?" He's like, "He just bit his ear," and then I'm like, "Yeah, right. You are crazy." Like, no, I thought he's messing with me, and then it's like, "Yeah, I have a turn on ESPN." Oh yeah. I was like, "Man,
that was
hungry?"
They went again. They did a rematch, and you found out how much they got paid. You were like, whoa.
Like, that's right.
Like sometimes it make you, am I having heart palpitations? Then when you realize how much they get paid, you're like, whoa. But yeah, I watched that match. I did not go to Boomers. I watched that.
That's right. That's like, that's why sometimes I can't hate when Mayweather's fighting Jake Paul or whatever, because it's like, you're getting $50-100 million. I'll go in there. I'll fight Floyd Mayweather, I'll just be like, I'll get crushed in like 10 seconds, I'll stay in there.
Yeah, me personally, like I said, that's a money grab. I think everything was planned until that hat situation. I think that hat situation was like, hold on, we didn't practice this. But you got to realize, Jake has been on YouTube for how long? So everything for him is a viral moment. Everything. It's a joke, because he went to the event, not this past UFC event, but the other one, and he got booed. And I think Daniel Cormier was trying to tell him, sit your behind down, like seriously, like, cause DC's so nice, but I literally was like, DC, please don't punch. I want to say punch him, please punch him.
That's
but,
right.
like, he was just, it was too much. Like I said, I get it. It's a money grab. I am gonna fight it because it's another YouTuber that's fighting. Dang it! I know he's a part of the Ace family. He has a fight with somebody.
Okay.
That's in June.
Mm-hmm.
That's in June. But I am gonna watch that fight. I really am. I really do think, like I said, it's a money grab because he's been fighting other YouTubers.
Yeah.
So now let's see how you're gonna go with an actual boxer, an Olympic boxer at that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not
undefeated.
Undefeated. And I'm not even the biggest Floyd Mayweather fan, but that night I'm cheering for him.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm cheering for him. I'm gonna be like, knock him out.
That's
please
right.
Do, please.
That's right. Be like, I know Floyd's a defensive fighter, but yeah, he can turn the offense on if he needs to. You know what I mean?
I really do believe he may switch his style that night because he knows. Because Jake is significantly taller than him, but he knows. Floyd's not dumb. He knows if I knock him out, this gonna be so viral. This could possibly end his career in boxing.
That's right.
To this day, I was so confused why Ben Askren took that fight and how he lost. His credibility is gone. You can't tell me Dana is saying, "Damn it, why did I do that switch?"
That's right.
Like, I switched Demetrius. Don't get me wrong. I think Ben Askren is amazing, but you got to look at it. I watched that first fight when he watched Robbie Lawler. He was not supposed to win. And then the knockout with Jorge Masvidal, and then Damian Maia, and that's what it is. It's just like, oh no, like his credibility is shot because you lost against somebody who's doing this for fun.
That's right. Yeah.
See, I want to see.
That's right. I want to see those YouTubers, challenge one of the Diaz brothers. Yo, they ain't gonna come in there and play. They ain't gonna.
They're not gonna do that.
I watched what was it, Nate or Nick? He put a guy in a triangle and then double fisted, like that. You know what I mean? Right in his face before he was like tap tap. You know what I mean?
When I tell you, I am a Diaz fan. There is actually a flyer around that they want the next match to be Nick Diaz versus Tony Ferguson.
Ooh.
I'm in. Mm-hmm. I am so in. I'm in because I love Tony. And when he lost to Gaethje, he was just like, I think that messed with his head because he was on like a 10, 11, 12 winning streak.
Yeah.
And, to get stopped by Gaethje, it was just like, whoa. And then another fight, and then this past fight, I'm not going to front. He didn't tap. He was there. He was holding on. So I got to give him that because the thing was like, what is it going to take? So I actually would love to see that fight, Nick, because I really do believe Nick will come back if it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
It has to make sense. I don't think it's really about the money. I really do think it's about it makes sense. I do believe he would come for Tony. Mm-hmm. I really would. The question is what weight?
Yeah.
Because Tony is 55. Nick started at 170, but now Nate is 170. So would it be like a medium match, like as far as like a meet like 160?
Yeah.
Or go down to 155, or will Tony go up to 170? So that I think that's going to be the main problem. What's the weight? But it should happen. I put it on my IG story. I said, make this happen today. Please.
That's right.
I would love for that to happen. Oh my God.
That's right.
Have that happen, yeah.
That's right. Yeah, that would be awesome. Oh my Lord.
Yes, that would be awesome.
Now, I do got to ask before I pass it on back to Remy. I got to ask, do you have any crazy backstage, road stories that's happened, since in your time, anything crazy happened?
Okay. All right. What's one crazy thing? It's so much stuff that happened that you just got to be like, you're numb to it. It really is. If somebody else see it, they be like, what the heck? I've seen it where matches have changed, like right then and there. I could be on my way getting ready to call, and I'll get pulled. Megan, no. Such and such. I would never forget. I was doing ring gear that night, and it was a steel cage match. It was Controversy Inc. versus Cha-Cha Charlie and Vince Steele. Together, they're called the Juggernauts. And I was supposed to get the gear. I did not know that Controversy Inc. was going to rush and attack them by the cage. So now I'm like, trying to get all the gear and run for my life at the same time. Run for my life at the same time. And my best friend was there. and I heard her laughing. She said, "This is hilarious." She said, "Megan, you look like I don't want no parts. I just want you want stuff to go." That's how it was. It was like another moment was it was a match between Bugs, who was the Southeastern champion at the time, and going against Jackal Stevens, going against Jackal. And Jackal won, but Jackal is now teamed up with this guy named Agony. And Agony, I had to give the belt. And I was doing it like this with a smile on my face, and Agony snatched it. And when he went to the character, he said, "Megan, you're not supposed to smile at me. You're supposed to be scared." And I was like, "Okay, next time I'll be scared." But I was just like, "Oh, okay, I'm scared." But he was like, "Next time, be scared. You have to be scared." But that was it. Like I said, I love to see when they talk about it, like, okay, we're going to do this, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do this. The meeting of the minds, I guess you could say. Any more crazy stories? No, maybe because I'm so immune to it. That's why it's not crazy. That's a possibility.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that. Yeah. But yeah, that's right. Now I do want to say, before I pass it on back to Remy, I want to say, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule and stuff. Come on, chat with us. Yo, I had a blast talking with you about wrestling, MMA, boxing, all that stuff, encompassing all my favorite things. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's right.
And I'm a girl.
That's right. Hey, a plus. You know what I mean?
People are shocked because you got to think about it. People have an image of what a wrestling fan looks like. And people have an image of what somebody who likes UFC, like MMA, what they like, what they look like. And then you see me and you're like, no.
That's right. That's right.
That's why I like it. I'm a curveball. Like, I love this stuff. I love this business. I love both. I love wrestling.
That's right. That's right.
MMA. Yes, I do.
That's right. Yeah. Hey. And I want to say, I wish you nothing but, the positive vibes, for your career. I hope we see you on national TV sometime. You know what I mean? That I would jump out of my skin, not figuratively, but literally. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, yes.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh yeah, no problem. Remy. Yeah. Back to you, man.
Megan, I gotta say, thank you very much for actually being on our show. We really and truly do appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'm gonna say this right now. It would not surprise me. Your name is Megan. It would not surprise me if some fan goes to a show and calls you Megan the announcer, as in Megan the Stallion. It would not surprise me if somebody did that.
That's funny.
Hey, might be onto something right there. Yeah. Megan the announcer.
Yeah. Somebody said that. I was like, look, I'm older than her, so I was here first. instead of what was it? Hot Girl Summer? I can see it now. Ring Girl Summer. Hey, yeah. I like it. Love it. Yeah.
Yeah. But honestly, like Rob said, we here at Ringside Side, we wish you all the best. We hope you go, we hope to go we hope to see you get to where you want to be. And if possibly even more, we like to see people work hard and make it there and so on. And hopefully next time I'm in Florida, I can catch a show and you'll be on as well. I'm like, hey, yeah, you're on our show. Thanks a lot,
Yeah.
But before we actually close the show, we just want to. I just gotta ask, where can fans find you on social media if they want to find out when your next appearance is, if they want to get merchandise, or if they want some more advice on ring announcing and interviewing? Where can we find you on social media?
On social media, on Instagram, I'm meg.never.stop.fight. Instagram. You can DM me if you have any questions or anything like that. I do respond. On Facebook, I am what you see here, Megan Harden. Like I said, for any bookings, you can DM me on my Instagram, or you can send me an email, mgnhrdn_WWE@icloud.com. The events currently I have right now, June 26th, it'll be in Leesburg with Shadow Wrestling. It's a new promotion. I'll be the announcer. And on July 25th, I'll be in Attitude Wrestling Entertainment. That's on a Sunday. That's a new promotion that's coming out as well.
Awesome. So if y'all are ever in town and you actually see her at an event, Go ahead and support. You know, there's nothing like indie wrestling, and I always say support indie wrestling. That's where a lot of your AEW and WWE superstars come from. If you don't support indie wrestling, Rob over here is gonna eat your lunch, your breakfast, your lunch, and dinner. And we don't want that. You
But
know,
if you want to do this, you gotta know that.
That's right. I'm on Operation Fat Rob too, so hey.
Yeah. But if you want to do this, you gotta know that in this scene. You have to. You gotta know it.
yeah. So with that being said, it is now time for us to end this show. For those of you watching, we do have another show after this. It's actually going to be our 15 minutes of fandom segment. You know, we here at Ringside Society, yes, we actually interview the wrestlers, promoters, the ring announcers, like our gorgeous host, like our gorgeous guest over here, the promoters, referees, heck, even the gear makers. Gear makers, if you're hearing this, hit us up. We want to hear from you as well too. On the other side of the spectrum, we like to hear from the people that actually make it all possible, keep it going. That's the fans as well too. So with that being said, don't go anywhere. Do not get off of YouTube. We're going to be having a 50 minutes of fandom episode. Special guest Mike G. Fun fact, he's actually Dean Hiram, our alumni guest from the Nightmare Factory. That's his close friend, so you won't want to miss that. But with that being said, Rob Bass, where can fans find you on social media if they want to be on the show, shoot the breeze about wrestling, or actually purchase merchandise?
You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Rob_Bass82, Facebook, YouTube, Xbox, Twitch, whatever, Rob Bass.
Awesome. And if you want to find me on social media, you can actually find me on Twitter at TheRemyBlue. I also have a Facebook page. You know what? I'm going to stop neglecting it. I do have a Facebook. It's actually Remy Blue. You'll see me at WrestleMania 28 with my good friend Adam. Don't be a stranger. Definitely add me there. Our podcast is also on Twitter at Ringside Society, and our podcast is also on Instagram at Ringside Society. We have a lot of cool videos and pictures there. Follow us. We also have a Facebook group. Feel free to join us. We have a lot of cool stuff there. And we're also on YouTube. So make sure you actually follow this YouTube channel because we have a lot of great episodes on here. We have, of course, this one, which will be available real soon with Megan Harden. We actually have several students from the Nightmare Factory that have been on this show. We even had Princess Victoria and also Anakin Rosa, who is the son of Thunder Rosa. You won't want to miss that. Definitely check it out. And also, we're now on Twitch. That's right. We are officially on Twitch. So check it out. It's Ringside Society 2019. Definitely check that out as well. And we also have a Teespring account. That's right. We're selling merch now. We have several different designs. And we have one more coming up for the adults. That's right. Lock your kids up. You don't want them to see this one. But with that being said, we here would like to thank everybody that tuned in tonight live. We really and truly do appreciate it. We know you could have been doing something else, but hey, the fact that you actually took time out to listen to us really means a lot to us. For those of you that are going to listen to us later on, thank you in advance. And for those of you that hate us, can't stand us, really and truly wish we'd go away, well, I'm sorry, but like myself in the Golden Corral, we're not going anywhere for a while.
They hate us because they ain't us.
I like that.
And we ain't stopping.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, we here at Ringside Society just want everybody to know that we're very well and aware that everybody and their parents and their parents have a podcast. But we're not your grandparents' podcast. We're not your parents' podcast. As a matter of fact, come to think about it, Rob, we're not just any podcast. Nope, we are not the same. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, Rob Bass, one time for the mind, one time for the people, one time for the wrestling culture, and one time for Megan Harden, who's actually making a name for herself as one of the best ring announcers in South Florida.
I take that. I think that.
What
We're
type
the
of
wrestling.
podcast are we?
We're the Wrestling Fans Podcast.
That's right. We're the Wrestling Fans Podcast. And remember, we will be back here in a few minutes with another amazing episode. Still, until then, stay on YouTube. I'm not going to tell y'all stay safe and be healthy because you're going to watch another episode. So stay on YouTube. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. But you know what? If you're going to go somewhere, be safe, be healthy.
Yes.
Be excellent to each other and party on, dudes.
Yes.
See you in a couple minutes. Peace.
Bye.
See y'all. Good night. Stay
Good
classy,
night.
Delaware.
Okay.